No, we vote for president every 4 years. Members of the U.S. House are up for election every 2 years.
That means 7 members of Colorado's congressional delegation, all of them, will be on the ballot this November. That includes District 2 Congressman Jared Polis, who is facing off with Nick Morse. I recently had a chance to sit down with the congressman to discuss this race and the future. You're in such an overwhelmingly Democratic district. It's almost like you don't have to try too hard.
I thought you were going to say overwhelmingly beautiful district, from the Rocky Mountain National Park to the ski areas of Eagle County.
As a CU grad, Boulder's a beautiful area.
Go Buffs, go Rams.
What is it about being in a comfortable seat? I could ask the same thing Diana to get. You're in a comfortable seat. So what do you do to let people know, here's why you should really vote for me, not just because we share a letter?
Well, we work hard every day, and so a lot of it is getting out in the communities. I've put over 11,000 miles on my car this term. We've had over 19 town hall meetings. We're doing a series of house parties, getting into neighborhoods. We do telephonic town hall meetings. So really it's about accessibility, and I spend a lot of time hearing concerns from constituents, trying to address them, working with them on their veterans benefits, on immigration issues, really roll up our sleeves, let's get to work kind of stuff.
What is it about this election that you think is different than any other election that you've been a part of, that you have to really say, this is who I am, versus maybe 2 or 4 years ago?
You know, it's interesting. I think when the top a ticket, meaning there's a presidential race, a lot of people focus on that. And I think it's important for other candidates to introduce themselves personally and say, look, regardless of what you think of Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, here I am as your representative, working hard on Highway 25 funding, on Highway 70 funding, on making sure we have good health care for our veterans, these issues that I spend my time in Washington advocating for on behalf of the people of the 2nd Congressional District.
I'm going to ask a question that even I will struggle to understand about the Trans-Pacific Partnership. We're looking at a lame duck Congress right now, waiting for the election. The TPP, I've heard, is compared to like creating our own EU. What should I know about this that I don't know about it, and where are you on
We'll
this?
need more than a few minutes on that one, but I mean, I guess I'll give the quick version. You know, so Donald Trump's come out hard against it. He's for this kind of isolationism, renewed American nationalism. I think that both Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton's approach has been we need to engage the world. Whether the particulars of this individual treaty need to be improved, can be improved, it's better as it is. Those will all be things that we consider, and Congress might be voting on it at some point. I'm in the process of reading it, of studying it. But the concept is a very good one. The concept of global fellowship, the concept of bringing people together, in this case 11 of our Pacific allies like Japan and Philippines and Vietnam and Chile and Peru together, and let America write the rules of conduct rather than retreat back and let China play that role in the Far East.
2 ballot issues that may make the November ballot deal with fracking, and a couple of years ago you were part of a compromise. You helped lead a compromise to make sure that pro and con fracking issues stayed off the 2014 ballot. For this one, you've contributed $25,000 toward the one that deals with more local control. First, why the contribution? What is your interest in that local control?
I've been very consistent in supporting local control. So the district I represent has 5 communities that have voted on or instituted fracking regulations or bans, and you can imagine the disappointment of my constituents when some of those were overturned at the Supreme Court. So it's really a very important issue. When I hear about regularly from my constituents, we need to have safety and security in our home. We want to have some say if somebody is doing fracking right in my backyard, in our neighborhood. Right now, there's essentially no regulations. They can frack anywhere, anytime, even in your backyard, with a minimum of notice and without giving you any right, even if you own the property.
Well, I know there's been some fact checks about it can happen anytime, anywhere, that say that's not exactly
Well, about 30
accurate.
days is how much now notice they need. So it can happen after 30 days, pretty much anywhere, anytime.
So this is an issue that actually Democrats kind of conflict on. Have you heard from the governor's office about your contribution to helping this local control issue fund itself for the ballot?
No, I certainly can't speak for the governor. I consistently advocate local control with the governor and many state legislators who agree with me. We've tried to do this through legislative routes. There's been attempts at a special session, attempt at a commission. It's hard going because it faces the staunch opposition of many members of the oil and gas industry, not all. Some of them certainly support our approach. But I think it's where the state needs to go. If we want to retain our quality of life, if we want to retain our property values, if we want to protect homeowners, we have to have some ability to zone for and have a local say over fracking, just like we do over every other economic activity. That's why we don't have a factory next to you in a residential neighborhood. We always have a local ability to zone appropriately.
I'm just the messenger here because I don't want to get the email after the show and throughout the week, your stance on Amendment 69 in Colorado Care.
69 I'm looking at. I haven't made up my mind. I don't always weigh in on state ballot initiatives, honestly. They're decisions for the voters of the state to make.
Which you are one.
I'm a voter, so once I'm sure I'll have to make a decision at some point before I vote. But I'm torn on it. I have supported the concept of a public option nationally. I still do. I certainly support the state carve out. Certainly willing to look at what a single payer system would look like nationally. The question is, what are the specifics of this proposal? Would it work in Colorado? Can Colorado do it alone? I'll be certainly evaluating that in the coming weeks.
What do you need more that you don't have now that will help?
Well, as a federal legislator, I spend my time reading and looking at federal legislation, which is hard enough to follow everything going on and try to be informed enough to cast my ballot. So what I'll have to do, like I do for any of the ballot initiatives, is read through them and see what they look like.
You're someone who likes to do new things often. How long do you want to be doing this every 2 years?
Well, that's pretty often, new things every 2 years. It's always different to run. I'm excited. We just got done with Startup Day, where we had over 50 members of Congress and the Senate visiting startups in their district. I co-founded that. I'm excited to work on higher education affordability next session. The Higher Education Authorization Act is up, and I have a number of ideas to help reduce the cost of college tuition. Very important to the district. It contains CSU and CU. So it's exciting and new every day, honestly. There's always something new that is coming into Congress.
I know you're running for this race right now, but does an open governor's race 2 years from now interest you at all?
Well, as you said, I'm running for this race right now, so I'm working hard and hope to have the honor of representing the people of Northern Colorado for another 2 years.
You're welcome for giving you that out. By the way, I'm disappointed, no bow tie today.
Hey, well, in Colorado, I'm seldom wearing ties, so it's, more of a casual type place.
Like our governor. Look at
There
that.
you go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, you got me.
Congressman Polis, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, always a pleasure.
And we'll be right back.